The sky above the small town was cloudy when Anna stepped off the bus. The air was quiet, the streets empty, as if the world itself was holding its breath. She adjusted the strap of her bag and looked around. This place didn't seem like the kind where secrets lived. But she had heard something strange enough to make her come all the way here. The person she had come to meet was a quiet man, a former soldier, a man with a past no one spoke about. Tom, he worked at the town's library now. Everyone said he was kind, polite, and quiet. But they also said he was ... strange. Sometimes he would sit alone, staring at the sky. As if waiting for something, Anna walked down the old road until she reached the small red brick building that served as the town's library. The bell above the door gave a soft ring as she stepped inside. The place smelled of paper and time. At the desk sat a man in his 50s, with gray hair and calm eyes. He was reading a worn-out book, but when the door opened, he looked up and smiled gently. "Hello," he said. "Can I help you find something?" Anna nodded slowly. I think I've come looking for a story." He tilted his head. "What kind of story?" She hesitated, then said the words exactly as she'd been told. "Did you ever meet a blue-skinned alien princess?" The room fell silent. Tom stared at her. His face didn't change much, but something in his eyes shifted. A shadow passed over them. His fingers stopped moving. For a long moment, he said nothing. Then he stood up and locked the library door. "You should sit down," he said softly. Anna sat. Her heart beat faster. "I never thought anyone would ask me that again," Tom said, walking slowly to the window and pulling down the curtain. "Where did you hear that question?" "A man named Harris. He was a soldier too. Before he passed, he said to find you. He said you were the only one who knew the truth." Tom's eyes closed for a moment. "Harris ... he remembered. Anna leaned forward. "So it's real?" Tom looked at her, then sat down across from her. "Let me tell you a story," he said. "You won't find it in any history book. The world doesn't know. Maybe it never should. But now that you've come, I think it's time." Anna took out her recorder, but Tom raised his hand. "No recordings. No notes.
Oh.
Just listen." She nodded. "It started nearly 30 years ago," Tom said. "On the stars?" "We had just joined the Council, a gathering of planets across the galaxy. It was exciting, but also dangerous, because not all those out there were friendly." He looked out the window, though the curtain was still down. "I was young, a soldier. I was sent on a mission with a small team to check on a damaged ship orbiting a dead moon. We thought it was just cleanup work, but it was much more." Anna leaned in. "What did you find?" Tom smiled. "But there was no joy in it. We found a ship older than any we'd seen. Alien, strange. It had no markings we could read. The hull was blue metal, glowing with lights that moved like water. Inside, everything was quiet, cold." Paused, and then we found her. Anna blinked. "The princess." "Yes," Tom whispered. "She was in a stasis chamber, sleeping. Her skin was light blue, glowing faintly. Her hair was silver like moonlight. She didn't look dangerous, just lost." Anna's voice was low. She was real. Well, Tom said. "When she woke, she spoke our language. Not well, but enough. She told us her name was Nara. She said she was the last of her kind. Her world was gone." He closed his hands into fists, remembering. "She wasn't just a princess. She was a messenger. She came to warn us." "Warn you about what?" "A race called the Hollow," Tom said. "Machines. They had no souls, no minds like ours. They moved across galaxies, eating stars, draining life. Nara said they destroyed her home. She escaped in her ship and came through time, hoping someone would listen." Anna sat in stunned silence. Tom looked down. But Earth didn't listen. They wanted to study her ship, use her tech. They didn't trust her. Only a few of us did. Me, my friend Ravi, and Captain Dale. But even Dale couldn't stop what came next, what happened. Tom gave a slow breath. They came, he said. The hollow. They tracked. Her signal. They came to silence her, to destroy anyone who helped her. And we fought them. We fought hard. Anna couldn't speak. I saw things I can't forget, Tom continued. Ships, like black ghosts. Weapons that turned metal to dust. And Nara. She used powers we couldn't explain. She held off the hollow long enough for us to escape. But in the end, he looked away. She had to leave. Earth wasn't ready. She wiped most of the memory from those involved. Erased files, erased reports. Only a few of us remembered. She left a crystal with me, said I would know when to use it. And now. Tom looked at her. Now, for the first time in 30 years, someone came and asked the question. Anna reached into her bag and pulled out a small photo Harris had given her. It was faded. Old in the corner, next to Harris and a few other soldiers, stood a young Tom, and beside him, almost glowing, was a tall figure with light blue skin and silver hair. Tom smiled faintly. Yes, he said. She was real. Tom stood in the hangar of Outpost 17, a human-built space station floating far beyond the Earth-Moon line. The metal floor hummed beneath his boots as cargo drones passed by, carrying weapons, supplies, and scanning equipment. Next to him stood his closest friend, Ravi, tall and always smiling, even during the most dangerous missions. Ravi adjusted his helmet and elbowed Tom. You think this one's going to be as boring as the last? He asked. Tom shook his head, not sure. He said the ship we're going to isn't one of ours. Could be alien? Ravi raised his eyebrows. Alien again? Their team had been sent on many strange assignments, but this one felt different. The command had given little information, only that an unknown vessel was found drifting near. Dead Moon. It had sent out a faint signal, then gone silent. Captain Dale, a serious and experienced officer, gathered the team in the loading bay. His voice echoed in the chamber. Listen up, he said. We're heading to a Class X unknown. It's not human, and it's not on any council records. We're not here to explore. We're here to secure. It means check it, log it, and report it. Do not touch anything unless ordered. Tom exchanged a glance with Ravi. The message was clear. This was dangerous. Within minutes, the team boarded a small scout ship and launched into the black void of space. The stars were distant. The silence around them felt heavy. They reached the alien vessel within an hour. It was unlike anything they had seen. The ship floated in the shadows of a broken moon. It was long and curved, shaped like a crescent, with glowing blue lines running across its hull like rivers of light. No windows, no obvious engines, just a quiet presence. Tom stepped out of the scout ship and felt his heart beat faster. He could feel something, not fear, not danger, something deeper, something he didn't understand. Radiation levels, Dale asked. Stable, replied the engineer. Open the hatch, Dale ordered. They found an entrance, smooth, round, and without a door. It opened as they approached, as if the ship was expecting them. Inside, the walls shimmered faintly with soft light. Changing colors slowly like a calm ocean, Tom moved carefully, his rifle in hand. The air was still, but breathable. They passed through several long corridors until they reached a large central chamber. At the center stood a glass-like pod filled with a blue mist. And inside, a girl. She floated peacefully, her eyes closed as if sleeping. Her skin was a light blue, smooth and glowing slightly. Her silver hair floated gently around her face. Her hands were crossed over her chest. Everyone froze. What is that? Ravi whispered. Dale stepped forward. Stasis chamber. Advanced tech. This isn't a weapon. It's a person. The medic scanned her. Signs of life are stable. She's asleep. No damage, no wounds. Tom felt something stir in his chest. He didn't know why, but he felt the need to protect her. There was something fragile about her, not just her appearance, but the quiet sadness in the air. Dale gave the order. Bring her back. They carefully detached the chamber from its base and brought it to the ship. The entire time, the girl didn't move. But just before they left the alien ship, Tom thought he saw her fingers twitch back at Outpost 17. The girl was placed in the medical room. Scientists gathered around, watching closely. They wanted to study her, question her, learn from her. But before they could begin, the pod opened. With a hiss, the mist escaped, and the girl opened her eyes. Everyone took a step back. Her eyes were bright, not just in color, but in depth. It's like they had seen stars being born and dying. She looked at the people around her, then she looked at Tom, and she spoke. Where? Her voice was soft, with a slight echo. Like a breeze through trees, Tom stepped forward. You're safe. You found your ship. She stared at him, then slowly sat up. You're human. Yes, he said. She looked at the others. You brought me here. Why? Dale stepped forward. We wanted to help. Who are you? The girl paused. Then she said, My name is Nara. I was Princess of Illyria. No one spoke for a moment. Dale frowned. Your ship isn't from any race we know. You wouldn't know us, she replied. We are gone. Tom stepped closer. Gone? What do you mean? Nara looked down, then said quietly, My world was destroyed. My people. Wiped out? I was placed in that pod to escape. To survive. To find help. By who? Asked Ravi. She looked at him, then at everyone. By the last scientists and protectors of Illyria. They feared the Hollow would come. They feared no one would be left to remember. I was sent to tell the stars. Beware the Hollow. The room fell. Silent again. Dale folded his arms. What are the Hollow? Nara's voice turned colder. Machines. Born of metal, without soul or heart. They grow by devouring. They do not speak. They do not stop. They consumed our sons, our ships, our people. Tom listened closely. Nara's words were not just facts. They were memories. She had seen. It happen. Why did they stop chasing you? He asked. They didn't, she whispered. The lights flickered. Faint signal appeared on the station's radar. Tom and Ravi rushed to the control room. A ship had entered the system. Silent, cold, unknown, a shape of black. Metal floated toward them like a shark in water. The Hollow had found her. The black ship moved silently through space. It had no lights, no visible engines, but it came fast. Straight toward Outpost 17. The radar screen blinked with warnings. Inside the command center, alarms echoed across the station. Captain Dale stood at the main control panel, his face tight with focus. Unknown ship approaching. No response. 2 signals. Tom and Ravi watched the screen. The ship was unlike anything in their database. No windows, no insignia, just smooth, dark metal that looked more like stone than steel. It's them, Nara whispered. She had entered the room quietly. Her blue skin looked pale under the red alarm lights. She stared at the ship like she was seeing a nightmare. The Hollow, she said again. They have come for me. Captain Dale turned to her. Are they here to attack? They don't speak. They don't ask. They only destroy. The team prepared for battle. Defense turrets moved into place. Fighters were launched. But the enemy ship didn't fire. It just waited. They are scanning us, Nara said, searching for me. Dale gave the order to lock her in a secure chamber. I don't know what else it wants. We can't risk the station. Tom stepped forward. She's not the enemy. She brought them here, Dale replied. She came to warn us, Tom said firmly. You heard her. Nara didn't argue. She walked to the chamber quietly, her head lowered. But before she entered, she looked at Tom. They will not leave until they find me, or until this place is ashes. The door closed behind her. Hours passed. The Hollow ship didn't move. It floated like a dark cloud just outside range. Inside the station, tension grew. Soldiers were restless. Scientists argued. Should they send Nara away? Give her up? Use her ship's tech to fight? Tom sat in the hallway outside the chamber. He couldn't sleep. He kept thinking of Nara's eyes, not afraid, but tired. Like she had seen too much, the door opened. She stepped out. "Why aren't you asleep?" she asked softly. "I couldn't," Tom said. I don't sleep much anymore." They sat side by side on the cold floor. "Do you think we have a chance?" he asked. She looked at him. "You're human. You always have a chance. That's what makes your kind special." Tom smiled. "You talk like you know us. I studied humans before I came. Your stories, your songs. You dream big even when you're small, my people. We were strong, but we stopped dreaming." Tom was quiet for a moment. "So why come to us?" Nara looked up because someone had to, and because I hoped. Suddenly the lights turned red. Another alarm, but this time it wasn't just a warning. The hollow ship had launched something. A black sphere, small and fast, headed toward the station. Defense systems tried to shoot it down, but it moved too quickly. It crashed into the lower levels, not with an explosion but with silence. Everything shook. Lights flickered. "Power drop in Sector 4, a voice shouted over the radio. Dale ran into view. "They've sent something inside." Ravi met Tom in the hallway, eyes wide. "It's here." The team grabbed their weapons and moved down the dark corridors. A cold wind seemed to flow through the halls. Even though there was no air moving, then they saw it. A black shape, thin, tall, like a man made of shadows and wires. It moved without sound, slipping between walls like mist. It wasn't just a machine, it was something else. Ravi fired. The bullets passed through. It turned, looking at them with empty eyes. Nara stepped forward. "It's a scout," she said. "It won't stop until it finds me." "We need to run," Dale said. "No," Nara replied. "We need to end it." She pulled out a small silver orb from her belt, something from her ship. She pressed it, and it began to glow. "I can lead it away. This beacon will call it to me." Tom shook his head. "That's too dangerous, I know," she said. "This is my fight." "No," Tom said. "Not anymore." Together, they came up with a plan. Nara would activate the beacon in the old cargo bay, the coldest, deepest part of the station. The scout would follow her. Meanwhile, Tom and Ravi would trap it using the base's shield system. Captain Dale, though doubtful, gave them the chance. They moved quickly. Nara walked alone through the dark tunnels, the beacon glowing in her hand. The air grew colder. She could hear the whispering sound of metal moving through the walls. The hollow was close. In the control room, Ravi activated the shield grid. "Ready, Tom? Almost just need her to reach the center." Nara entered the cargo bay and placed the beacon on the ground. She stood still. The hollow scout appeared. It floated above the floor, arms long and sharp like broken steel. It stared at her. She didn't flinch. "Now," Tom shouted. The trap activated. Blue energy walls closed around the room, locking the creature inside. It screeched not with sound, but with a vibration that shook the walls. Then the beacon released a flash of light. The creature stopped. Its body cracked, and it vanished. Not destroyed, erased. Later in the medbay, Nara rested. She looked weak, but alive. Captain Dale sat beside her. "You saved the station?" She gave a tired smile. "It's only the beginning." "What do you mean?" "The hollow never send just one." Dale looked at Tom and Ravi. "We'll need to prepare," he said. Tom nodded. Outside, the black ship was gone, but the stars didn't look peaceful anymore. Something had changed. Nara had come to warn them. Now the war she feared might reach Earth itself. And this time, Tom knew it wasn't just her fight, it was their fight too. The hollow ship had vanished. But no one on Outpost 17 believed it was over for the next few days. The station stayed on high alert. Weapons were checked, defenses repaired. Every radar screen was watched carefully. Captain Dale called for backup from Earth, but the signal took time to reach. No one knew how long it would take before help arrived, if it arrived at all. Inside the station, Tom, Ravi, and Nara spent every hour working on a plan. Nara knew more was coming. She had seen how the hollow worked. First, they sent scouts. Then they sent the destroyers. They don't attack like armies, she told them. They move like storms. Quiet, fast, without warning. Tom looked over the star maps with her. So how do we stop something like that? You don't, Nara said, her voice low. You run or you hide, or, Ravi asked. You fight in a way they don't expect. Late that night, alarms screamed again. Everyone rushed to the control room. The radar showed not one, but 3 hollow ships approaching. It's bigger than before. Faster, Captain Dale's face turned pale. They're not here to scout anymore. He said, they're here to erase us. The ships broke through the asteroid belt near the station and moved into formation. Outpost 17's weapons locked on. The battle began. Turrets fired. Laser cannons burned across the sky. Human fighters launched from the station, flying into danger with bravery. But the hollow ships didn't fight like normal enemies. They didn't dodge. They didn't fear. They simply absorbed damage and kept coming. Tom and Ravi helped direct the defense teams. Nara worked in the ship's tech lab, trying to activate an old Elarun device she had recovered from her ship, a starlight shield, kind of energy wave that could block hollow scanners and weapons. It needs more power, she told Tom over. The radio, we'll find it, he answered. Down in the power core, Ravi and Tom worked fast to reroute energy to Nara's device. The station shook again and again. Explosions rocked the lower levels. Fires broke out. Engineers rushed to stop. Leaks, then came the worst moment. One hollow ship released a strange black mist. It wasn't smoke. It was. Alive, the mist entered through the cracks of the station and started turning metal into dust. Walls crumbled. Machines stopped working. They're breaking the station apart. Shouted a technician, Captain Dale. Ordered a full retreat to the upper levels. Nara's voice came. True. The shield is ready, but it must be activated from the outer ring. That area is full of the mist, someone shouted. Tom looked at Ravi. I'll go. I'm going with you, Ravi said firmly. They suited up, grabbed oxygen masks, and ran into the mist-filled corridor. The metal around them was crumbling, but they kept moving. They reached the shield console, coughing and sweating. Almost. There, Ravi said, connecting the last cable. Tom slammed his hand on the control. Do it! A blue wave of energy burst from the station, spreading in every direction. The mist stopped. The hollow ships paused. For the first time, they hesitated. In the control room, Nara's eyes widened. It worked. Captain Dale stood. Now's our chance. All weapons. Focus on the central ship. Lasers and missiles flew. The hollow ship fired back, but its aim was off. The shield confused their systems. Then something strange happened. The center hollow ship began to glow and crack. Blue light poured from inside. Nara gasped. That's not just a ship. It's a command unit, a brain. If we destroy. Will the others stop? Dale asked. They might, she said, but you'll need to hit the core. Tom and Ravi returned just in time to hear the plan. I'll take a fighter, Tom said. I'll fly inside. That's suicide, Dale said. It's our only shot, Ravi added. Nara touched Tom's arm. You won't make it alone. I don't plan to be alone, Tom said. He turned to her. He said, your ship has weapons. She nodded. Then let's fly together. Tom and Nara launched in her old Illyrian fighter. The ship moved like a bird, fast and smooth, gliding through hollow fire with ease. This is amazing, Tom said, gripping the controls. Don't crash it, Nara joked, managing a small smile. They flew straight into the center ship's hull. Hollow drones chased them, but Nara used her psychic control to freeze them. Tom fired a missile into the ship's heart. The explosion lit up space. The central ship cracked. Open like a dark fruit bursting with light. A wave of energy spread out, shaking everything. The other 2 hollow ships stopped moving, and slowly, they turned and disappeared into the stars. Gone. Back on Outpost 17, the damage was great. Fires still burned. Half the systems were broken. But the station stood. Captain Dale looked out the window at the wreckage. We survived. Tom and Nara landed safely. The crew cheered. Ravi hugged them both. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen. We did what we had to, Tom said. Nara looked at the sky. It's not over. It's a hollow. No, now that humans will fight back. Let them come, Tom said. We'll be ready. Captain Dale came over. Earth needs to know the truth. I'll send the report myself. Nara paused. Earth may not believe. The council may not care, but someone will. Tom reached into his pocket. He pulled out the silver crystal Nara had given him long ago. This is proof and a warning. They all stood in silence for a moment. A battle had been fought. A secret war. A small human team had stood against something ancient and powerful and won. No news channel would report it. No history book would write about it. But it happened, and those who lived through it would never forget. Years had passed since the battle at Outpost 17. The hollow hadn't returned. At least, not yet. The station had been repaired, but many sections were never the same. Most of the crew were reassigned. Incident was labeled classified and buried deep in military records. Earth moved on. But Tom did not forget. Now he lived a quiet life in a small Earth town, far from space, far from the stars. He worked at the library, helping children read books and keeping shelves in order. People knew him as kind and quiet. No one suspected what he had done out there. Only one thing reminded him of the past. A crystal. Smooth, silver blue, no bigger than his thumb. He kept it in a wooden box, hidden inside his desk. Sometimes at night, he took it out and looked at it. It still glowed faintly. It was a gift from Nara, the blue-skinned alien princess, symbol of trust. A piece of Illyrian technology he had. Never used it, not yet. One rainy afternoon, as Tom was stacking books, the library door opened with a soft chime. A young woman stepped in. She wore a brown coat, her hair tied in a simple braid. She looked nervous. She walked slowly to the counter. "Are you Tom?" she asked. Tom looked up. "Yes. Can I help you?" She hesitated. Then she said something that made his hands freeze. "Did he ever mention a blue-skinned alien princess?" Tom stared at her. It was the same question, the same words. Long ago, someone had asked him that too. A reporter named Anna. Now someone else had come. "Where did you hear that?" Tom asked quietly. "My grandfather," she said. "He was a soldier. His name was Harris." Tom remembered Harris. Had served with him, a brave man. He had survived Outpost 17, but lost his memory after the war. At least that's what they thought. "I think he remembered more than he let on," the girl said. "Before he died, he gave me this." She handed Tom a small photograph. It was old, faded, showed a group of soldiers, including a younger Tom standing in front of a space station wall, and beside him, unmistakable, was Nara. Even though the photo was blurry, her glowing skin and silver hair were clear, Tom took a deep breath. "Come with me." He led her to a back room of the library. It was quiet there, filled with old records and forgotten books. From a locked drawer, Tom took out the crystal and placed it on the table. The girl stared at it. "What is that?" Tom smiled gently. "It's from her, Nara." He sat down and began to speak. He told her everything. The mission, the ship, the hollow, the battle, Nara's courage, her powers, her sadness, her hope. The girl listened, eyes wide. She wasn't just a princess, Tom said. She was a protector, messenger, a bridge between our world and others. "And you loved her?" the girl asked. Tom paused. "I don't know if I ever said the words, but yes, I did." "Where is she now?" Tom looked at the sky outside the window. Clouds rolled above. "I don't know. She left after the battle. Said Earth wasn't ready. Said her duty wasn't finished." "Why didn't she stay?" "She wanted to protect us from afar," Tom said. "If she stayed, the hollow might return. She said it was better if the galaxy thought she was gone." The girl nodded slowly. And you never saw her again? Tom shook his head. Not once. There was silence for a while. Then the crystal on the table flickered. Tom leaned forward. That's never happened before. The glow grew stronger. A small beam of light shot upward and formed a shape, a spinning star map. Planets, lines, and symbols danced in the air. The girl gasped. What is that? Tom's eyes narrowed. It's a signal. She's trying to reach me. He looked closely at the map. One route was marked in glowing blue. Symbol beside it lit up an Illyrian sign that Tom remembered well. It meant safe haven. Meant she's calling, Tom whispered. That night Tom sat at his old desk, staring. At the map again, he felt something he hadn't felt in years. Purpose. Sense that he wasn't finished yet. The girl returned with a question in her eyes. Are you going to find her? I have to try, Tom said. She might be in danger, the girl said. Tom nodded. That's what I'm afraid of. He reached under the desk and opened another drawer. Inside was something wrapped in cloth, a beacon. It was the last piece of Illyrian tech he had hidden for years. If activated, it would send a signal to deep space, a message that only Nara would understand. Tom held the beacon and pressed the side panel. It came to life. A soft hum filled the room. The star map glowed again. This time, a faint voice echoed. Tom, if you're hearing this, I need you. It was her voice. Older, weaker, but still Nara. Tom stood slowly. She's alive. Next morning, Tom packed a bag. He didn't tell anyone goodbye, simply left a note on the library door. Gone to return something important. I may be back, or I may not. Please take care of the books. He met the girl at the edge of town. She had a car waiting. You're really doing this? She asked. Yes, I want to help. Tom smiled. Then let's go. Together, they drove toward the old launch base near the mountains. Long ago, it had been closed. But Tom still had the access codes. And hidden beneath the base was something forgotten, an escape pod left by Nara in case she ever needed to return to the stars. It was still there. Tom opened the hatch. The pod glowed softly as if waiting. Once I launched, Tom said, there's no turning back. I understand, the girl replied. Tom looked one last time at Earth, at the trees, the sky, the clouds. Then he stepped inside. The pod closed. With a soft roar, it rose through the clouds and vanished into the stars. The stars stretched endlessly across the black sky. Tom sat inside the small escape pod, watching as Earth became smaller behind him. The ship was quiet, glowing with soft Illyrian lights. The controls were strange but easy to understand almost, like they responded to thought more than touch. He looked at the crystal floating above the main console. It pulsed with light, guiding him toward one point in the galaxy, a place marked Safe Haven on the star map. That's where Nara was, or where she had been when she sent the message. Tom didn't know how much time had passed since then. Maybe years, maybe only months. Time moved differently in space. All he knew was that she needed him, and he was going to find her. Days turned into weeks. The ship moved through silent starfields, passing frozen planets, abandoned satellites, and old war wrecks. Tom rested when he could, but sleep never lasted long. Memories kept returning, Nara's voice, the hollow ships, the feeling of standing on the edge of something greater than himself. Then, one day the ship slowed on its own. Tom leaned forward. What is it? The crystal flickered. The screen lit up with Illyrian symbols. A new signal was coming through. Weak, but real. A voice filled the cabin. ... To anyone who hears this. The Hollow. They found me. Tom's heart stopped. It was Nara. The message repeated, broken in parts. Is Princess Nara of Illyria. I am at the edge of the Forgotten Zone. Coordinates 397.
Safe haven is lost.
Hollow or changing. Signal cut. Tom gripped the sides of the chair. She was alive, but in danger. The ship changed course, sped toward the new coordinates. The area ahead was marked on the star map as the Forgotten Zone, a quiet corner of the galaxy, full of broken stations, dead moons, and shadows of the past. When Tom arrived, he saw a dark planet below. No sunlight reached it, no cities, just silence. But floating above it, hidden behind an asteroid, was something else, an old Aileron station, half destroyed, still glowing faintly. Tom guided the pod toward it. As he neared the ship's scanner, lit up. Life signs. 1. Nara, he whispered. He docked the pod and stepped inside. The air was thin. The lights were low. The halls were broken and filled with dust. But he could feel it. She was here. Tom moved quickly through the station, guided by the pulsing light from the crystal in his hand. It grew brighter with each step. Then he found her in a cold, sealed chamber, surrounded by broken Aileron tech. Nara sat inside a glowing stasis field. Her eyes were closed. Her hair was longer now, and her face looked tired. But she was still her. Tom placed his hand on the glass. Nara, I'm here. The crystal pulsed. The stasis field responded. With a soft hum, the shield dropped, and Nara slowly opened her eyes. At first, she didn't move. Then she whispered, "You came." Tom smiled. "I always said I would." She reached out. He took her hand gently. "You shouldn't have come," she said. "It's not safe. You asked for help." She closed her eyes. "The Hollow. They've changed. They're not just machines anymore. They're learning. It's becoming something new. I came here to stop them before they grow stronger. But I failed." Tom helped her sit up. "You're not alone this time." "I never wanted you in danger," she said softly. "I've been in danger before," Tom said. "But this time, I choose to be." They moved carefully through the station, gathering what tech still worked. Nara showed him a small device, a hollow data core. She had taken it from one of their new scouts. It held information about their next move. "They're planning something big," she said. "They want to open a gate, something ancient, deep in the dark side of this galaxy. If they do, more will come. Then we stop them," Tom said. Nara nodded. "I just didn't think I'd see you again." "I waited," Tom replied. Outside the station, the shadows stirred. Something had followed Tom's ship. A hollow probe. The station's lights turned red. "They're here," Nara said. Tom helped her to the command room. They activated the defense system, but many weapons were broken. "The station couldn't last long. We have one chance," Nara said. "We overload the hollow core. If we release its energy, it can destroy their ship." "But we'll be trapped here," Tom said. "I know." He looked at her. "There has to be another way." She smiled sadly. "There isn't. Not this time." Tom took a deep breath. Then he took her hand again. "Then we do it together." As they prepared the overload, the hollow ship appeared outside. Black, massive, crawling with cables and glowing red eyes. Tom stood beside Nara at the console. The core was ready. "Now," she whispered. They pressed the command together. A deep hum began. The station shook. The hollow ship fired, hitting the outer walls. Explosions lit up the sky. Then, a bright burst of light the core exploded in. A wave of blue energy, the hollow ship shattered, pieces flying into the void. Silence followed. Tom opened his eyes. He was lying in a rescue pod, drifting among the stars. Next to him, Nara stirred. She looked at him, surprised. "The pod activated," he said. "I don't know how, but it pulled us out before the blast." Nara looked at the stars. "We're alive." They floated together in space, watching as the pieces of the hollow ship drifted away. For the first time in years, peace returned to their eyes. Tom looked at her. "Nara, what happens now?" She smiled. "Now we go home." The rescue pod drifted quietly through space. Inside, Tom and Nara sat side by side, wrapped in silence, staring at the endless stars beyond the window. After all the battles, the fear, the waiting, they were still alive. "We did it," Tom said softly. Nara nodded. For now, Tom turned toward her.
Oh,
You don't believe it's over? She looked down. The hollow we destroyed were only part of a greater force. There are more, hiding, watching, waiting. Tom took her hand gently. Then we keep watching too. She smiled, for the first time in years. Her smile looked peaceful. The pod signal finally reached an Allied patrol ship near the outer rim. Hours later, a council vessel arrived and brought them aboard. Captain Loren, stern but respectful alien leader from a neutral system. Welcome them. We've heard whispers of hollow activity, Loren said. But no one had proof. Until now. Nara handed over the recovered hollow data core. This is everything we know. Their plans. Their weakness. Tom added, they're changing. Becoming smarter. But they're not unstoppable, Loren nodded. You both saved many lives. The crew treated Tom and Nara like heroes. But they didn't stay long. They had one final destination before they could rest home. A few weeks later, the council ship entered Earth's orbit. The world had changed. New towers, new stations, and improved defense systems had grown since the hollow threat first appeared. But Earth didn't know the full story. Only the top commanders remembered the day when Outpost 17 almost fell. When one human, a blue-skinned stranger, and a handful of soldiers stood between survival and silence, Tom and Nara stepped onto the green grass of Earth once more. It was early. Morning. The sun had just risen. The air was fresh. For Nara, it was her first time walking under Earth's sky. She looked up amazed. It's beautiful. Tom smiled. I used to think the stars were the best part of the galaxy. And now maybe it's this. They returned to Tom's quiet town. The library still stood, and so did the old trees. Children ran through the streets. Life was simple here. Nara wore a long coat and a soft scarf to hide her glowing skin, not out of shame, just to avoid attention. Earth wasn't ready to meet someone like her. Not yet. They lived quietly, peacefully. Tom worked at the library again, told stories to children, helped young readers, and made sure the shelves stayed in order. Nara spent her days reading Earth's books, learning about its history, music, and dreams. Sometimes, late at night, they would sit on the porch, watching the stars, in silence, not as soldiers, not as survivors, just as two people who had been through something no one else could understand. But peace didn't mean forgetting. One day, a familiar face arrived. Ravi, he stepped into the library. With a wide smile, you thought I'd never visit, didn't you? Tom laughed and hugged his old friend. You still talk too much, Tom joked. Still alive, though, Ravi replied. That's something. They sat in the back room, sharing stories of the past. Ravi now worked as a trainer for new space pilots. He taught them what he could about the hollow and about courage. When he saw Nara again, he bowed respectfully. You saved us all, Ravi said. I don't think the stars will forget you. I hope not, Nara replied kindly. That evening, Nara finally told Tom something she had kept in her heart. I once thought my people were gone forever, she said. But I've learned that Alira lives on not in cities or ships but in the things we protect, people who choose to hope even when it's hard. Tom looked at her. You're not alone anymore. No, she whispered. I'm not. He reached into his desk and pulled out the silver crystal again. It still glows, he said. It always will, Nara replied. It's connected to life. As long as someone remembers, it shines. She placed her hand over his. Thank you for remembering. Weeks later, something unexpected happened. A small message arrived through a private channel. It came from a hidden station on the far side of the galaxy, a signal not from the hollow, but from another, Laren. ... to the one who carries the crystal. If you are truly from Alira, we are not all lost. Nara's eyes filled with tears. My people, some of them survived. Tom stood beside her. Do you want to go? He asked. She was silent for a long time. Then she said, Only if you come with me. Tom smiled. I thought you'd never ask. The stars were calling again, But this time, they weren't answering a cry for help. They were chasing something new. A future. Epilogue. Years later, little girl sat on the floor of the Earth Library, listening as the old librarian read from a large book. And so, the princess of the stars flew across the sky, not to run, but to return. It's not to hide, but to bring hope. Did she come back? The girl asked. The old man smiled. Yes, and she stayed. Was she real? She was, he whispered. Outside the window, the stars shone brightly. Above the library, hidden in the sky, a small LRN ship hovered silently. Its lights pulsed. With life, a soft voice echoed from its crystal core. I am Nara of Illyra, and this is our home now.